So thanks for joining me once again, and I've been doing lots of things in my shop here, but I have not touched this setup at all. I've been getting some other things ready to do some improved testing. So just not to talk about that too much, let's turn on the radio and see if once again we get 2.5 volts on there. I can barely remember why that would even be important. Oh, that's right. I thought the set had stopped fading and had gone into its final solid mode, so to speak. And so I wanted to start it up again and see what we get on this meter. So the signal generator is running, all levels, everything's been just left alone. So here we go. Got a lot of movement of stuff around here. I just want to double check and make sure everything is safe. Yeah, looks good. Here we go. Okay, let's see what shows up on this meter. I've been doing a lot of reading on FM detectors also. Wasn't quite expecting that. Let's just tune it off here. So we're still feeding the signal generator output into the plate. Into this plate, which is pin 1 of the 12AT7. I certainly don't see 2.5 volts there. The volume was set to 4 when we were hearing that. Now there is talk on the CBC. Let's go find that.
No one getting out of line, just walking into little more something. So we thought, at least I thought, and I think most of us thought, that we would be arrested and that we would go to jail. Here that we would be beaten. Toothbrush and toothpaste. So I thought we'd be arrested. So if I go to jail, I wanted to have
Yeah, just
something to read.
disconnecting the signal generator.
And I would.
Isn't that interesting? I don't know, is it? Is it interesting or is it just disturbing? Signal generator on.
40 years ago. To me, it is almost hard to believe.
So I'm pumping in a fake 10.7 signal
And I said to myself, how
into
could
the IF string,
our fellow citizens do what they did to us?
and we're getting more
We weren't violent.
radio signal
We
output
weren't even talking. We
out of
weren't
the
even
detector.
speaking
We can
out.
hear it.
We were just, it was a sound.
Can you hear me scratching my head here?
It was peaceful protest. And under our Constitution,
Oh, wow.
we have a right to peaceful protest.
But did it cause the violence that you were met with? Did that ever cause you to question your commitment to nonviolence? Did you ever get the sense that
Okay, so what I'm going to
perhaps
do,
this isn't going to work? We're gonna have to
disconnect
do
the signal
something else?
generator right off here.
I never
Maybe that was the
gave
problem.
any
Thought
That's the
during
problem.
those moments
I'm getting a
when
really
we
high
were being
voltage now.
beaten, the days
Radio's working
and
good.
hours that followed, I never gave
They should
any
stop now.
consideration,
Stop
any
now.
thought to moving away from the philosophy and the discipline of nonviolence.
Sounds really nice.
We had been taught, we had been imbued with this idea that if you want to create the beloved community, the good society, then the way must be one of love, one of nonviolence, one of peace. We came to the conclusion that means and ends are inseparable. So if you want the beloved community, then the way must be one of love, one of nonviolence. So when we were being beaten,
Just watching this
I
meter.
didn't have any ill feeling against the state troopers that were beating
Yeah,
us.
let me turn it down to
We wanted to be reconciled. We wanted to create a sense of community.
In the aftermath, I mean, those pictures went around the world. People remember watching the attack and the gas and the dog, all of that. Tell me what happened afterwards in terms of getting the Voting Rights Act, because it didn't take 2 or 3 years, did it? It just took a few months
Okay.
after that.
Because of what happened in Selma on Bloody Sunday on that bridge, there was a sense
Yeah.
of righteous indignation all around America and around the world. There were demonstrations
do something a
in
little bit
more
different
than
now.
80 cities in America. At American embassies,
I think the radio is producing full volume on FM. But now I'm going to change the signal. I'm going to take off the antenna, the outdoor antenna, and I'm going to connect this piece of equipment that you see. It's way up here. Let me turn this off here, I think. This piece of equipment, which is an FM signal simulator. Okay. Off the outdoor antenna. We're on the signal.
federalized the Alabama National Guard.
Still coming in good.
Part of the United States
Now
military.
this thing's transmitting
And then he decided to make the
somewhere
state
around
equal
100.
a just
So I'll
issue
put
of
this
the
up.
Congress.
We should find it. There it is there. Now, this is a much better signal source all around. So I'm feeding in about just over 100. Well, it might actually be just under 100, I'm not sure. Somewhere around 100 megacycles onto the radio. We can clearly see the, I believe this is the average, considered the average. Oh, can't see it while you're looking up there. This is the average in a ratio detector. This is producing the average output. I don't know what I'm talking about, so I'll shut up here. But let me write that down. 5.5. Turn the volume down so we're not getting that tone blasted into our ears. 5.5. Minus 5.5. And the time is 9:30 in the evening. Now, what should I do here? Just leave it like this. And I've had that signal source going for a little while. A lot of it is crystal controlled. It's a laboratory or a good piece of equipment. It's an RCA. An RCA, in case you want to check it out, RCA WR52 Stereo FM Signal Simulator. And if I'm going to learn FM, I'm going to have to learn to use this. Oh, what's going on there? It's falling. Now, this radio hasn't been on very long, as you know, because you've been watching the video. It's just possible this thing is drifting here. A little bit. I guess I could tune it harmlessly to make sure it's tuned to the maximum. Let's tune it a little bit. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Turn it up so you can hear that. Some funny things there. So the radio may not be adjusted properly, may not be aligned properly. 8. You can certainly hear it in my ears, a variation in the tone, but so that's about maximum. 8 minus 8. I need more scratch paper here. Where's it going? It could be I tuned the radio and the radio tuning could be drifting ever so slightly. Could be lots of things, yeah. Not really the defect in the radio. It's definitely going down, isn't it? Let me double check the tuning. I can either tune the radio or I can let me tune the signal. Oh my gosh, look at it. I looked away for a moment and zoomed. Hey, it's fading out. Okay. Okay. What exactly has just happened? Let me tune the signal generator around the... Seem to be able to tune it to a slightly different frequency and boost this up a bit. I have to assume that it's gone, the radio's gone weak. Okay, let's pop down to a radio station and just compare. Or should I leave it and flip to AM back and forth? Or should I tap that? Mystery contact. Start with tapping the mystery contact. That's tapping the top of the IF coil that has proven to be sensitive all the time here. Okay, I'm just using another meter to do that. Here we go. Going away again. Yeah, totally away. That was a little odd, wasn't it? It's 1:45. Let's try tapping it up again. So, the deal here is I've ordered the capacitors I need to make a lot of replacements in this area. So they're probably going to arrive tomorrow, and I'll get busy and I'll replace a whole whack of capacitors in there, as many of you have been suggesting, but I don't have the capacitors here to do it. I am lacking in capacity when it comes to capacitors. Hopefully they come tomorrow, and hopefully I can find the time to do it. It's a fair bit of work in there. At least what I have now is a very proper test setup. I have a controlled input signal. I can do it in two ways. I can feed a RF signal into the antenna like I'm doing now. I can feed a 10.7, actually 10.56 into the IF. I found the point where I can feed it in. It doesn't seem to disturb the operation itself. And I found a measurement point which parallels what we hear coming out of the speaker. So I've got lots of opportunity now to... What? See, this is the point I don't get. I don't get it coming back. But we know it does that. Wonder if it's going to fade away again. Yeah, it's more interesting listening to a radio station than listening to this tone. I'm going to leave it like this for a little while and see what it does. Okay, a few minutes have gone by and there's no fade. Let me just turn down the volume a little bit here. And I've connected up my scope. You can see the scope lead coming in. Connected it. Right to this point here, which is right between a 33K and a 270 ohm resistor. Okay, so this is the audio output coming out, and that's what we're monitoring on the scope. Here's what you see. Of course, it's exactly what you hear. A nice sine wave. Fairly nice. If I change the frequency of the modulation, it's 400 cycles. There it is. Turn it up a bit so you can hear it. By the way, the radio is not fading at this point. So that's 400. That's 5,000. There. Just put 100% modulation. You're seeing some things on the screen there that let me just get a little more stable here. There. That's the 5,000 hertz. Not too bad. Now, what happens if I flip this to sweep? I'm not sure. Let's give it a try. Put this to there. Turn this down to here. Ooh. It's a pretty weird looking thing. Let me tune the signal generator output a little bit. Oh my gosh, isn't that interesting? Oh. Let's hear this. Let's hear this. Ooh, it's not very it back to 1000 hertz. Tune it. I'm watching that, watching the voltmeter while I do this. You can't see it right now. I'm going to max it. Oops. Right in there. That's about max. Let me just stabilize my scope here. Lovely. You're seeing some weird effects from the camera. That rolling light you see coming down. That's just a camera thing happening. Well, now there's another. Well, I think I'm going to stop at this point. The radio's operating with full volume. It's gone through a fade or two, but it's back to full volume. Just flip back here. You can see the meter. Okay, let's just let it operate like that for a couple minutes here. Yes, Draper. What have you got to say? Come back here. He's not much of a command cat, that's for sure. He issues the commands. Okay, looks like the fade is starting here. It's only been a couple of minutes since I recorded my cat. Going down. Oh. Good shape. You see it going down here. Down to almost 6 volts now. Shape is not good. Down around 575. Shape is way off. Look at that. Shape is way off. I'm going to retune the signal generator just to see if this isn't a tuning issue. Oh, that's interesting. Max out the voltage again here. I can't. Like it's still going up. It's going up. It's going back up. 575. Minus 6 volts now. I don't know what to make of it there. I did that tuning thing. It's up 6.3 and on its way up. Let me tune this again and just see if it does that funny shape again. Yeah, way down here. We got it way off. Go up, up, up. It's up at the top now. So, I think that's just tuning effect. It's interesting, you can see the DC voltage go up and down as I tune one way then the other. It's at 7 volts. minus 7 volts and going up. I did move the oscilloscope, but not much. I just moved it from one side of the 33 to the other side. So we're really monitoring the audio output that's fed into the amplifier. Okay, I'm going to adjust the frequency now and just see if, because it seems to be topping out up around 7.2. Let me just move it a bit here. 7.4. Okay, that's about the top there. Better Call Saul is on in 5 minutes, so that's all I got left. Going up, going way up. Well, I wouldn't say way up, but going up. This looks just great. Exactly what you're supposed to see. Just turn down the brightness here. .78. Well, that's really interesting. I think we're going to cut it here, stop it here, and carry on tomorrow. Exactly from this spot. I'll just shut all the equipment off as it is. We'll start right up here. See if I can remember what I was doing. Hey, thanks a lot for watching. Not sure what we're proving yet. But I'm certainly getting a much better test set up here. Ready to go. While we wait for new capacitors.